Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video we are going to see how to create a CLI application using Golang and Cobra library. And yes, I do have glasses. So you might be aware about the lot of CLI applications available like Git, kubectl, Docker and many more. So CLI application allow us to interact with the application directly using the command line interface. So this type of command line applications are really good to automate a lot of stuffs for the developer and can increase the productivity for a developer. So let's see how we can create a CLI application and I will show you what we are going to create as well. I have already created the application. I'll show you what we are going to create. It's a really simple project that I have built over here, and if you want to contribute to that, then I'll be sharing the link in the description below for the GitHub. You can enhance this particular application to make it more useful. Currently what I have developed is, whenever you are trying to generate a standard application, suppose we are taking the example of a Spring Boot application, Java application, where you can generate the application using the Spring initializer and that particular zip file will be downloaded. What you have to do is you extract the zip file and then you open that particular in your editor. Okay, so that's a two step. So what I think of and what I created is to reduce that couple of steps. Okay, using the one command I can unzip it and I can open it. Let me show you that. So let me just go to Spring initializer over here, and this is the project over here. What I'm trying to do over here is, this is my demo application. I'll just say Spring application. Okay, this is my Spring application over here. Let me just generate this particular project over here, and if you go to this download folder over here, okay, what generally we do is we extract it, then go to this particular folder and go to command prompt and then open that in your choice of editor. If you are using VS Code, you can open using the code command. If you are using IntelliJ IDEA, you can open using the IDEA command. Let me just open for now in the VS Code, and here you can see that my application is opened over here. Okay, so two steps I did over here, but what I created the application is, let me just delete it. Okay, let me just close this as well, and let me just delete this generated folder as well. So what I created is, if I go to this command prompt over here and let me just open it over here, what I did, let me just go to the downloads folder. So I created the application that is unzip and open. So uzo is my command for that, unzip and open. And after that, in which particular editor I want to open the project. Suppose I want to open in VS Code. Okay, then I will pass that code command over here, and which particular zip file that I want to unzip and open. Suppose that is Spring application. So I'll just say this is Spring application.zip I want to open. So what it will do, it will unzip it and open in VS Code over here. So let's see that. Here you can see that it directly open in VS Code. Okay, and here you can see that unzip also happened over here. So this is just a simple application that I have created to demonstrate how we can create the CLI application using the Go and Cobra library. So let's jump to the VS Code and let's create this application. And before that, let me also walk you through the application over here, that what we are going to build it today. Okay, so uzo is the application, but how would you know how to use this? So if you just type uzo and enter, it will give you the usage information, how you can use this particular command line tool. Okay, so here you can see that it is saying uzo unzip and open can be used to unzip specified file into the folder and open that folder into the specified IDE or text editor. And the usage is uzo and the command. These are the commands available: code, help and IDEA. Code is used to open in Visual Studio Code. IDEA is used to open in IntelliJ IDEA. And if you want to get the help information as well, for this uzo you can use -h or -help command to get the help information. Here you can see that you will get the help the same way over here. And if you want to see what the other subcommands does, that is uzo code -h also it will open over here. Here you can see that this is giving the information for your subcommand, that is code. This command will help to open the unzipped folder to Visual Studio Code. How to use it? You just need to pass uzo, that is the root command, then the sub command, and then the zip file path you need to provide over here. You can see the examples also I have provided. I have also provided the flags also. Suppose if you don't want to pass direct the argument, and if you want to pass using the flags, you can pass using this flags as well. And suppose if you, let me just clear it out, and suppose if you pass any wrong command, suppose instead of code you pass cpde, okay, then it will show you the suggestions as well, that what you tried to do, that is, did you mean code? You can try this way also. So this is the auto suggestions also that has been provided in this particular application. So we'll see how we can do all those things. So let's jump to the VS Code and let's start our application. So for this, what I'll do over here is, in this particular directory, that is Go Workspace SRC, okay, this is my Go Workspace setup over here, and inside this SRC folder, github.com, this is my username, and here let me create the application over here. So I'll just create the new folder and I'll say usado over here. Let me open this in the command prompt for now. So this is open in my VS Code. Let me close everything which is not used, and let me walk you through the Cobra library as well. So if you go to this particular github.com SPF13 Cobra, you will see this is the Cobra library. I will link this in the description below so you can check this out. So this is a really good library to create your CLI applications very easily. And here all the things is been given over here, how to create your commands, how to create your sub commands, how to create the flags and everything over here. So let's just go and see what we can do over here. Here you can see that this is the command to add this particular Cobra library in your Go package, and there is also a usage available. Here you can see that user guide is there, how you can use your particular Cobra library and how the folder structure would be. And very good thing is they also have a Cobra generator over here. So this particular Cobra generator will help you to create the boilerplate code for your subcommands. So we'll be using this to speed up the process. If you go over here, this is the Cobra generator, and here you can see that you need to install the Cobra in your system. So I've already executed this command in my system. You just need to copy this command, execute in your particular command prompt or the terminal, and that this particular Cobra library will be added in your Go path over here. Okay, so wherever your Go path is there, that particular Cobra library will be installed. So you can see that this particular command and this particular command are different, and here you can see that this is saying that this will create the Cobra executable under your Go path /bin directory. So you can execute Cobra from anywhere within your system. So with this all things said, like we'll be using Cobra generator on Cobra library. Okay, let's go to VS Code. Let's open the terminal over here, and what I'll do is I will create this particular module over here. So I'll just say go mod init usado. Here you can see that my module is created. Now what I'll do, I will install this particular Cobra library over here. So let me just copy this command, paste it over here, and here you can see that Cobra is added over here, okay, in my particular project. So what we'll be doing over here is we'll be creating the root command, and also we'll be creating the sub commands for it, and we'll also create one flag to understand how flags works as well. So if we take the example of a git, okay, so git is a root command, and if you see clone, okay, you do git clone and the URL you pass over here. So git is a root command, clone is the sub command, and the URL that you pass is the argument. And there are different flags also available, like what we see, like git version. If you see git ---- version, and in our application that I showed you, like usado --h for help, okay, that also we added. So that those are the flags available, so we can add the flags as well. So firstly we will go and create our root command over here. Okay, so here you can see that Cobra init is available to init our project over here. What you need to pass is Cobra init package name and the path of your application over here. So let me just add it over here. So what I'll do, I'll just say Cobra init, I'll say github.com /shabbirtwd53/usado. Hit enter. Sorry, the command is wrong, right? So I need to pass, I just saw and I forgot, package name. So this is my package name over here that I've created. Okay, so Cobra init package name github.com /shabbirtwd53/usado, and here you can see that my application is created. And let's see what is created over here. Okay, here you can see that main.go file is created. This is having a main package and a main method which is calling the command, that is package.execute method. If you go to this particular package, that is cmd, inside that there is a root.go file available over here. Okay, so let's go to this particular file, and here you can see that this is your root command pointed to your command. You can see that these are the different information available. So here you can see that useado is your root command over here. Okay, and this is your short description and this is your long description. And after that, this is a struct. Okay, cobra.command, this is a struct available, so you can add all the different informations over here. And this is the execute method. Okay, this particular method will add all your child commands in this particular root command context, and this particular method will be called from the main.go file, from the main method. Okay, you can see that it was calling cmd.execute. Okay, cmd.execute. So this is the one. And now this is the init function over here. So init command is used to add all your global flags and flags for that particular command over here. So currently you can see that this particular Cobra has been initialized over here. So here you can see that there are two flags added, that is the config flag and the toggle flag over here. So these are the default added. If you don't want, we can remove this from here. Okay, but this is the way that you can add your flags available. And this is the init config available. So this particular init config is used to add your configurations and your environment variables. So here you can see that all the configuration has been added. Here you can see that Viper has been used. So Viper is a configuration framework or configuration library for your Cobra. So here you can see that all the default configuration has been added. If you want to change any configuration, how your config file should be created, you can add all your configurations over here. Currently we will be going ahead with the default configuration only. So this is the default thing available. Now what I'll do is, let me just clear everything over here in the terminal and let's build this thing. So what I'll do, I can use go build command to build my project. Okay, so I did a mistake over here. Okay, it is saying that no required module provides package, this one. So it is not available at github.com/shabidwd53 for now. So what I'll do, I'll just change this information that I want to have from useado/cmd over here for now. Okay, and I will do this also over here. Okay, and let's do go build over here. Okay, yeah, you can see that now go build is successful. Okay, so this is just a hack over here, but when you are doing, actually you should pass your entire application path that where you have created. So I'll be adding this in the GitHub over here. So github.com/shabidwd53 is my username, and inside that I'll be creating the project. Okay, so that's the standard structure to create your Go projects. Now this is the build created. You can see that useado.exe over here. Now what I want to do is I want to install this particular in my Go path over here. Okay, so that I can access this particular application from everywhere. So what I'll do, I'll just say go install. Okay, so this particular is installed in my system. So if I go to the command prompt over here, let me just clear this, and if I say useado, here you can see that this is my application. So if I type useado here, you can see that this is the information available. This information is coming from your root package, sorry, for your root.go file over here, this one. Here you can see that a brief description of your application, a longer description that spans multiple. So this is the information that you are getting. And if you see useado help over here, so here you can see that the flags are there, but only this particular information has been shown over here. So let's go ahead and modify all these things. Okay, so first let's change this short description and long description. Okay, what I'm doing is just copy paste is over here. So I just added the short description and long description, that is useado unzip and open can be used to unzip and open the directory with IDE. Okay, and this is the long description over here. And if I do go install again, and let me clear it, and if I do useado help, here you can see that I'm getting the updated information now, right? So this is the root command. Now let's go ahead and create the sub commands over here. So if you go to the documentation, here you can see that cobra add command is there, cobra add to add your sub commands over here. So you will just add the cobra add and the sub command that you want to add. So I want to add the sub command as code. That code will be using to open that particular directory in our VJS code. So what I'll do, I'll just say cobra add code over here. Okay, this is my sub command, and here you can see that code.go file is created over here. Okay, let's go to that particular file, and here you can see that this particular code command is created. The use is code, short description, long description, and the run function is created. Okay, so this is the place where we will add our code. What should we do when we call the code command over here? And this is the init method where this particular code will be added to our root command over here. Here you can see that code command is added to our root command. So here you can see that all the code is been generated over here. Okay, we can use this particular example to create our flags as well. So let's go ahead and build this again. I'll just say go install over here. So it's built and installed in my machine. So now let's go ahead, and if I use usado -help, here you can see that everything is changed now, right? Earlier we were getting only this particular, there were no sub commands. Now I added the sub command, so I'm getting that information also. Like this is the main command information, and for the usage is usado and the command. I just added this particular command code over here. This is the description, and these are the two default commands available. If you want, we can remove that as well, and these are the default flags available. So we will clear this everything out, and we will also change this particular information. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'll do, if I go to this root, you can see that for this usado command there are toggle flag available, okay, and the config also available. So let me go ahead and remove this. This is the toggle one, and this is the config one. Okay, so let me just remove that as well. Now what I wanted to do is I want to remove this completion tags as well. Okay, this you can see that it is saying that generate the auto completion script for the specified shell. So if you want to generate the auto completion script for your different shells like bash, zsh, fish, you can use this particular command. For now, for this application we don't need it, so we will just remove it. So we just remove toggle and config flags over here. Now I want to remove this command as well. So let's go ahead and do that. How we can do that? Property over here, you can see that completion option is there, right? So what I'll do, I'll use cobra.completion options over here, and I'll say disable default command equals to false. So what I did over here, I just disable the default commands. These are the default commands added, so I just disabled it, and I also removed the default flags available. So let me just go ahead, build it, and let's see what we did. It's done now. Let me clear this, and if I say usado, so here you can see that the flags are removed over here, but the completion tag is still there. So let's see what happened. Okay, sorry, I just did false over here, right? I need to do true. So let's check it again. Cool. Here you can see that particular completion tag is also removed. Now let's add the version information as well for our CLI application, right? Currently we don't have any flags available, right? So let's go ahead and add that. So for this, what we can do over here is directly in this struct we can just add the version attribute, and I can define my current version is 1.0.0. This is a starting application, right? Let's check this again. We will clear it out, and I'll say usado, and here you can see that version flag is added over here. And if I do usado -v, you can see that usado version is 1.0.0. so version is done, help is done. And now if you see over here, if I do usado code over here, okay, so this particular code subcommand has been called. It is coming from here, this fmt.println line. Now we need to do all the logic over here for this particular subcommand. What I need to do for this particular subcommand, so let's add that logic. For this particular logic, what we'll do is we will create two things. One is the argument one, and one is the flag one. Okay, so first we'll do the argument one. So what we will do, we'll pass one string over here. That particular string we will check that this particular zip file is available, that particular file is available at that particular place or not. If available, then we will move ahead. We will unzip that particular file, and we will go inside that particular directory, and we will set our working directory there, and we will execute the code command, that is a VS Code existing command available in our operating system, right? So we will use that code command to open our application in the VS Code over here. The same way we'll implement for the IDE as well. Let's add the code for that. Okay, so this is the place we will be adding the code. So let me just create the few variables. Variable file name is string, variable error is error, and I'll say variable argument as string. I want to take the argument that I'm getting from here, from the command prompt. Okay, so these are the three variables I created, and I'll say argument equals to argument of 0. So the first argument which I'm getting over here, that I'm assigning to this particular argument over here. So I want to unzip that particular file as well. So I want to have the unzip code as well. So let me create the utility for that and add that particular code. So what I'll do, I will add the directory over here that says util, that is a package, and inside this package I'll create the utils.go file over here. Package is util, and let's add the unzip code over here. So for the sake of simplicity and for the sake of time, I will just copy this code over here. So here you can see that this particular method unzip I have created. Okay, I just Google around and I have got this particular method, and which is taking the source, which particular file that you want to unzip, and the destination path where you want to unzip over here. Ideally, we will be keeping the same working directory where this particular source file is there. Okay, so this particular file is doing the unzip over here. You can go through this particular method, which is very easy. Now let's go back to the code.go. Now I also want to check if that particular file which I'm getting over here exists or not. So for that also I'll create the utility method. So let me go to the utils and let me add the method over here. It is just a simple method, function file exists, which is taking the path and which is returning true or false, and if there is any error over here, it is checking the statistics of that particular path. If there is no error over here, it will return true and no error, and it will also check if os.dot is not exist, then it will return false and it will return no error. Otherwise it will return false, and if there is any error, it will return that particular error. So this is the particular method to check if that particular file exists or not. So here I'll check file exist error equals to util dot file exist, and here I need to pass the argument over here, and here I will check. Okay, this is the particular method that I have created. Okay, in this particular utils.go file over here, and this particular utils will be added in our package. Here you can see that use add-o -util over here. If error not equals to nil, I'll say fmt.println error over here. If there is no error, that means if file exists, then what I need to do is I need to unzip it. So let me get the file name, or error equals to file path dot absolute path from the argument, and if there is any error for this as well, equals to nil fmt.println error over here. Else, if file does not exist, then fmt.printf file %v does not exist, and here I'll pass the argument over here. I'll say return. So if file is there, then I'm storing the absolute path over here in this file name attribute. Okay, if there is any error, we are just saying that this is the error. Else, if file is not there, then I'm saying file is not available. Now at this particular point, I will be having my file path, and in this particular utils.go, this particular unzip, I need to pass the destination as well. So destination would be my current working directory. So I'm just creating this for the current directory over here, but we can enhance this application. So to get the working directory, I'll say working directory error equals to os.get working directory. This is a small w over here. Now if error not equals to nil over here, fmt.println error. Now I got the working directory, so I need to call the util.unzip function over here, and here I need to pass the file name and the working directory. So here at this point, what it will happen is it will unzip the particular file with the same name over here. Okay, now I need to go inside that particular directory and I need to open my editor. So I need to change the directory. So I'll do os.change directory over here, and for this particular change directory, I need to go inside the particular directory that I have created. So suppose my name of the file was demo.zip. Okay, so what will happen is demo.zip will convert to unzip folder with the demo name. Okay, so what I need is I need the name of the file without the extension. So that demo.zip, I want just demo. So I need to get that particular thing over here, particular name without the extension. So let me just create the utility method for that. So I have got that utility from the internet. Okay, let me add it. Okay, it's very simple over here. Okay, if you go down, let me just add it over here in my utils. Yeah, you can see that file name without extension. It is taking the file name over here and it is trimming the suffix with file name and path dot extension over here. The extension has been removed over here. So let me go to the code and I need to pass that information over here. What I'll do, I'll say change directory to util dot file name without extension, and I'll need to pass the file name over here. So this will change the directory over here. Now after changing the directory, I need to call the command over here. So command is code command is used to open the VS Code. Okay, so I need to use that command. That code command will be already existing in your system. When you install VS Code, that particular code command will be added in your path variable, so you can directly execute that particular command. So after going to this particular directory, I need to update my working directory as well. So I'll just update my working directory over here, and after that I'll just say command code equals to exec is the os/execute package over here. So with this particular exec, I'll just say execute.command. Inside this command, you can see that you can pass the first string which command, and after that you can pass the arguments. So I need to execute the code command over here, and after that argument is working directory, and error equals to command code dot run. And if error not equals to nil, that means this is a fatal operation. So what I'll do, fmt dot println, I'll just say VS Code executable file not found in your path variable. Simple thing over here. Here you can see that what we did. So I'll walk you through again. I just created 3 variables over here, and I have whatever the arguments that I'm getting over here when we execute the command, that particular argument that I'm saving in this particular argument variable. After that, I'm checking if that particular file exists or not. If file exists, that's fine. If not, then we'll raise the error. If file exists, then we need to get the absolute path for that. So I'm taking the absolute path over here, okay, from this particular piece of code. After that, I'm getting the working directory as well. So in this particular unzip function over here, I need to pass the file name and the working directory. So I already got the working directory from here and the file name from here. I'm passing those information, so unzip will happen over here. After unzip is done, I need to move to that particular unzip directory. So I'm changing my directory. After changing the directory, I'm updating my working directory as well over here. So this working directory I can pass in my execute.command function over here. Okay, this execute is a part of the os/execute package over here. So I'm using that to execute a particular command. And if there is any error to execute this, then we will say this is the error over here. Let's do go install and check. Go install is done. Now if I go to the command prompt, let me clear it out. And if I say, and currently if you open the downloads directory, here you can see that only spring application.zip file is available. Okay, so what I'll do, uzo code is the command over here. Here you can see that it failed. Okay, because here you can see that index is out of range. Why? Because here you can see that in our code we are using the first argument over here, and the argument we have not defined. So it is checking in the empty array and it's throwing the exception. So we need to handle all these exceptions as well. But firstly, let's see it is working or not. So what I'll do, code, and then I'll pass this particular zip file over here. And if I pass this zip file, here you can see that it unzipped and open over here. Here you can see that it unzipped also, and it opened in VS Code. So my base code is working. Now we need to handle all our exceptions. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me just delete this as well. Now my exceptions, first exception that we want to handle is only one argument is allowed over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So for doing that, in this particular code command, I need to add that information. So here I will add args over here. Okay, so how many args I want? I just want cobra.extract args 1. Okay, only one argument required over here. And with this, let's change the short description and long description also for this. So let me just copy paste it. It will open the short description is it will open the directory in Visual Studio Code, and long description is this command will help to open the unzipped folder to Visual Studio Code. In order for this command to work, Visual Studio Code should be installed in your system. Okay, and this is the check that we have added, that we want only one argument available. So let's do go install now again, and let's check over here. If I do just use code over here, here you can see that the exception has been handled perfectly fine. Here you can see that it says accepts one arguments, received 0. The usage it's shown over here directly, and you can check for the help as well over here. So this particular thing is resolved now. Now let's add the extra information, like here you can see that this is the usage available. Let's add the examples also, like how you can use this particular CLI app, like use code over here. So let's go ahead and add that. So in this particular arguments, what I'll do, I'll say examples, and here I can add the examples. What I'll say, use code demo.zip. Else what I can add, use code /downloads /demo.zip. This is just a basic information that I'm adding over here. Okay, let me do install over here. If I go back to this, here you can see that the examples is added over here. Okay, this is the example over here. And in the use also, you can see that it is showing use code flags over here. Okay, so let me update that as well, how we can do. So what we can do over here is, in the use over here code, we can define that after code you need to pass zip file name. And if I do go install over here you can see that you should get that use code zip file name over here. And if you want to disable this, right, you can see that it is flags available, but currently we don't have any flags. So to remove that from the usage, what we can do over here, disable flags in use line over here. I'll say true. If I do go install again, let me clear this out, and if I run it again, here you can see that that flags option is not available now. Okay, so here you can see that we are doing a lot of changes according to the need of our application. Now here you can see that it is a foolproof working application. Use code over here. Okay, you can see that something you are adding over here, if this is not available, it will give the help also. Okay, this is the unknown command for use and suppose you did a small mistake over here, then it will also show that you might be looking for code instead of CPDE, whatever you have mistype over here. And if you add the any different string also, you can see that it will also check file whatever that you have passed does not exist. So this check is also working fine now. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add the flags also. So instead of directly adding the argument as a file name, you can also add the file using the -f command or the -file command also. So let's add that also. Okay, this is the extra functionality that we are adding, so you will get the idea how to work with flags as well. So let's go to the code over here in the code.go file. What I need to do is come over here, and suppose this is the command that I am uncommenting in the init method. Okay, code command.persistFlags.string, but I don't want string, I want string variable with persist flag. So what it will happen is it will store that particular value, okay, in my particular variable. So suppose I am creating the variable that is &file over here. So it will store the data in this particular variable that I'm creating. Then my flag should be file, and you can also define your small flag. Okay, what the difference is, for this particular you will define -file, and for this you will define f only. So that's the difference. For the usage, you can define a file name to unzip and open in IDE. So I've just defined this particular flag over here, that if you define -file or -f, whatever the data that you're passing, it will store in this particular file. Let's create this variable. I'll just say variable file is string over here. Now what I have to do is I need to change my logic to incorporate this particular flag. So what I can do over here is, if I'm passing the flag over here, then I don't need the argument, right? Because I'm getting the data from the flags over here. But if flag is not there, then I want that particular argument. So these two things we are making as a mandatory things. So for this, we need to change this particular args function over here, whatever I'm passing over here. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just comment it over here so you can reference it later, and let me add it again. Args equals to, we need to add the new function over here. So let me just create the function, so which is taking the command and the arguments over here, and here we'll check if file, that variable that we have created, equal to blank, and length of the arguments is less than 1, then return error.new, I'll say accepts one argument. Okay, errors.new. If not, return nil. So I just modified this particular logic. There is a still fine tune required in this particular logic, like what if multiple arguments are there, that also we need to avoid. So this is just for the sake of simplicity that I have added over here, so we can get this particular thing working. Now what I want to do is, if there is something available in this particular file variable, I want to update this particular argument. If not, then I want data from this particular argument. So I will just say over here, if file equal to nil, sorry, blank, I'll just say not equal to blank, then my argument should be file, else my argument should be args of 0, and I can remove this. Simple thing. So we just added the check over here. So we just added two things. We also added the flag, and we can also get the direct argument also. So let's go ahead and build this. And if you go to this particular command prompt, and if I do go useado, useado code, yeah, you can see that this particular flag is added. -f you can pass, or -f file you can pass. This is of type string, because we added string variable, okay, string warp, a file name to unzip and open in IDE. You can also add the boolean flags also, okay, just to enable or disable some things. We can add the boolean flags as well. Let's check if this is working or not. If I go to the downloads over here, you can see that zip file is available. So let's do useado code, and I can do -f or -f file over here, and I can pass spring application.zip over here, and here you can see that it unzipped and open in VS Code over here. And if I do useado code and directly pass the file name, that also it should open in VS Code directly, unzipped and open in VS Code. So here you can see that it is pretty much working what we have expected over here. Let me clear this console also. Now let's suppose you want to do for the IntelliJ IDEA as well. So what I can do, Cobra add, and the new command that I want to add. Suppose I want to add IDEA command to open our application in IntelliJ IDEA. Just hit enter, and here you can see that the new file is created, and you can add the same logic whatever we did for code.go, you can add over here. So here you can see that it was very easy to create the command line application using the Cobra library. There are a lot more things that we can do using the Cobra library. I will add all the links in the description below for the documentation. You can go through the documentation and you can create a more usable CLI application. I will add this particular code also in the description below for the GitHub. I would like you to go through this particular code, and if you want to enhance this particular application, go and enhance this particular application. We can work together and enhance this application. So it's just a little bit automation to remove our couple of clicks over here. And if you have any idea to create any of the application, then do let me know in the comment section below. We can collaborate and we can create the application as well. I would love to be part of that. So this was all about the Cobra library in the Golang. If you have any doubts or any feedbacks, do let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. I will see you in the next video. Till then, happy coding. Bye bye.